Hello, can I help you?
Hello? Yeah, I just got home from work, and my wife wasn't there, which is unusual, and my kids should have been there by now from, like, daycare. So I was like, oh, maybe she went on a walk. I couldn't find her, so I called the daycare to see what time she picked up the kids. The kids were never picked up, so I got freaked out, so I hit, like, the Find My iPhone app thing, and it said that it showed her phone, like, at our end of our driveway. We don't have really good service.
Okay.
Not the end of our driveway, but the end of our street. But just drove down there, and I saw her phone with her headphones because she started running again. And I found her phone, and it's got, like, hair ripped out of it, like, in the headphones. So I'm, like, totally freaking out, thinking, like, somebody, grabbed her.
Okay, what's your address?
This is Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies.
Welcome to Reporter Room, where we seek truth and justice. My name is Jessica Della Davies. I'm an investigative journalist, and today we're going to talk about the case of Sherri Papini. Was this a hoax, or was it a case of Munchausen Syndrome? Everything I'm sharing with you today is my opinion, and opinions are not facts, so please do not send any negativity to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's be kind and decent to each other. So Sherri Papini was a 34-year-old mom of 2 kids. She had 2 little boys, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. She was also married to a very nice man named Keith Papini, and her disappearance made national news. And I think this is because Keith got on the air. He was begging for his wife's safe return. She had 2 little kids, and Keith and Sherri's neighbors totally believed this also. They got together, they conducted multiple exhaustive searches trying to find Sherri. They made posters, and everyone was out looking for her. Keith started a GoFundMe page to raise money for either a ransom or an investigation, and he raised $49,000. And this case was covered by news outlets, not only in the United States, but also around the world. And I think it's because Sherri and Keith are so photogenic, and it was just such a bizarre case. So could this been a case of Munchausen Syndrome? If you haven't already subscribed, please do and help Reporter Room grow. Also, thank you to our channel members Sonia Stanger, Rita Ann Evans, Queen Mob, Justice for All, Debbie McGuire, Greta Duncan, Irish Fairy, Snow, Pam McAtee, Lady CG, Vet Girl RWB, Raybird, Hakuna Matata 89, I See You, Becca, and Irish Fairy. Thank you also to everyone who donated super stickers during our chats this month. I am so grateful to each and every one of you. And a special thank you to our subscribers. You are the true rock stars of Reporter Room, and I am grateful for each and every one of you. Most of us are familiar with Munchausen Syndrome by proxy, and this is where a parent might cause harm to a child in order to get attention for themselves. We have learned that Sherri was with her ex-boyfriend, James Ray, in his apartment in Costa Mesa, California. This is a really bizarre case, and people with Munchausen's act this way because they have an inner drive or an inner need to get attention. And it's not for pain medication, and it's not for money. It really is for attention. And they will go to great lengths to get this attention. They will undergo painful procedures. They will undergo surgeries. They will burn themselves or poison themselves. And we know that Sherri had herself branded. She had bruises at different stages of healing, so she was harming herself, and she even cut off her own hair. So Munchausen syndrome was named after Baron von Munchausen, and he was a 18th century German officer who was known for embellishing his stories about his own life. And we'll be discussing the case of Sherri Papini in my Facebook group book, Reporter Room, if you want to join us. So she mysteriously reappeared 22 days later in the early morning of Thanksgiving, and she was spotted by a driver that she was trying to flag down around 150 miles south of where she was abducted. So she was gaunt, covered in bruising. She had her hair supposedly chopped off. Now we know she did it herself, and she had been reportedly branded by captors. So this hoax was just so bizarre, and I don't think her husband Keith was in on it either. The one thing that gave Sherri away was the DNA did not belong to female abductors. They found DNA that didn't match her husband Keith Papini, male DNA, but it didn't match female abductors. The DNA was male. So that was a giveaway to law enforcement. I'm sure there were other things that they saw that we're just not aware of, but that's the biggest thing that was brought to our attention. So what are some ways that people can fake Munchausen syndrome? Well, they lie about their symptoms, they tamper with their test results, they inflict things themselves, like Sherri had bruising. She had bruising in various stages on her body. So a clue to somebody having Munchausen's could be frequent visits to hospitals, but in different areas. They don't go to the same hospital all the time. And they'll claim to have a complex history of serious medical conditions with little or no evidence to back that up. They'll have symptoms that don't line up with what the test results say. And they'll have symptoms that get worse for no obvious reason. So Munchausen syndrome by social media is becoming a thing. It's still pretty new, but it's a thing. And this is when people go into these online forums for people with serious health conditions and claim that they also have this health condition, and they can get sympathy and empathy from the other people in the group. Sheriff Johnson, who spent a lot of time and resources searching for Sherri, said that he felt like Sherri was only sorry because she got caught. And the bottom line in this case is that some very strong narcissistic behavior, along with deception, deceit, and selfishness, he said. So he has a very hard time believing that Sherri is sorry. Sherri did release a statement by her lawyers on Tuesday where she confessed to the whole story. She admitted what she did. She admitted that it was made up, and she said she was very much sorry, quote, deeply ashamed of her actions. She said that she would, quote, work the rest of her life to make amends for what has been done. I don't know how Keith Papini feels about this, and I feel so sorry for her two little boys who were put through I don't know what when their mom just disappeared on them. So she did appear this past week in court for an arraignment for making false statements and mail fraud. So her sentencing will be set for July 11th. What do you think should happen to somebody who may have a mental disorder and may not be, trying to make a cash grab, even though they did make money off of this? I don't think Keith was in on it. Do you think she just needs to be sentenced to getting medical help, or because she actually accused two people and drew pictures of them and somebody could have gone to jail for this? Do you think that maybe a harsher sentence needs to be imposed? Subscribe, and please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.